Hello again. Hello again. We were having issues with technology and stuff. I set up a live for 8:30, right? And went into the house and came back in. Was typing up some shit on the chat for it. Threw the wireless keyboard up there on the bench. Looked up and the screen was gone blank to the home page, the YouTube homepage. And fuck. Anyway, we're back in action. When you click out with I can't figure out how to get back into a live what comes out of it. It seems to just into the ether. Anyway, not to worry. We are here and we're looking good. Now, I come in here this evening, as I was saying earlier on, we did a few modifications to the shed here today, which I'll show a few of you who weren't here for the test video. So I moved there was a window here, okay? There was 2 panes of glass where this screen is now. So we took the panes of glass out and we covered it up with plywood and stuff and insulation in between and more plywood on this side. And we mounted a computer monitor on the wall. So, because the window was a waste of time anyway, it just made it cold in here. And sometimes when you didn't want light in here, when you're working on a television or something, you couldn't eliminate all the light. So it's just a far better job anyway, and streamlines the operation a little bit. So anyway, this 3 streams and I go, yeah, it just didn't work out. Anyway, it's working out now, so we're looking good. The joys of YouTube. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So when I was doing the test live there a couple of minutes ago, Ray popped up. And loads of people just popped up out of the blue. So I said, fuck it, I'll do a short half an hour live. But what I've done tonight is I've done something I wouldn't usually do. I've set the comments so that you have to be at least 5 days subscribed. So hardcore fans only. And also I have monetization is switched off. So there's no ads or shit popping up. At least there shouldn't be anyway for you. So I just thought it'll make it a nice pleasant half an hour. So that's pretty much it. What has people been doing today? I dare say I could hazard a guess what some people have been doing today. I did a little bit of it myself. Yeah, it's been an interesting day. So what I need to do here is I need to sort all my shit out once more. It's all piling up again. It's unbelievable. Mrs. Aldrance comes into here and we have a big tidy up and stuff gets moved and whatnot. And then within 3 weeks it's like a bomb went off in the place. It's getting ridiculous. But what I want to do is the amateur radio station, which used to live just on the other side of this little wall, which also looks like a bomb here. Dare I even try and show you? I think I could. One of the things we did today is we changed around the little wire for our camera, so we have a little bit of length now. So, are you sick, George? Are you just tired? That's where the amateur station is supposed to live. Alright. As you can see, it has been overtaken with crap. So we're going to get in there and sort that out and set up our nice JRC rig in there for the time being. I am planning down the road on building another shed and putting the amateur station out in the garden, and I'm waiting this sort of separate the two. How old is that copy of television behind you? I'm assuming it isn't still, no, television's long defunct. If Michael Dranfield was here, he'd tell you exactly when, because he used to write to it. Which one is this? March 98. March 98. Yeah, it was around 2005, I think, it finally hit the wall. And then it kind of folded up twice. It folded up, and then it came back after a couple of months, and I think there was 3 or 4 issues. And then that was the end of that. I believe then after that, some sort of online subscription version of Television Magazine came into being, which you had to pay, and it was a hefty enough price. However, I even thought about joining at one stage, but I looked to see how many people were in it, and I think there was only about 90 members, and no one had updated anything to it in years and years, so I think it's defunct as well. I think the site might be still there though. George Christophe has a JRC as well, transceiver. What were they talking about in 98? Have a guess what they're talking about in March 98 issue of Television Magazine. I'm better again. Who wrote the article? I just mentioned his name, and here he is on the first page I open up. The Peak DCA 50 component analyzer, which I think is older than the one that I have. This is the I think this is the DCA 55. This is the one that came later. He's talking about the DC, and of course it's Michael Dranfield, the man that I just mentioned. Just RX. He's quite a good reader now, Mr. Dranfield. We could do an episode here where I sit in an armchair with a pipe beside the fire and I can read your articles from Television Magazine. Would it be a goer? I don't know. There's the Peak DCA 50. I never seen one of them. Obviously, the 55 must have come out fairly quick. And now our man on the spot, Michael Dranfield. And I see that my man actually was obviously thinking about buying one because he underlined the telephone number. So maybe at that stage the 55 came out and he went with that instead. I don't think they were overly cheap when they were new, but they were a handy little machine. And of course, miles ahead in their day. The little Chinese jobbers are about now. For feck nothing. But that is the march of time, I suppose. Howdy, Kevin. Well, good man, Kev. So Kev has a couple of them. Yeah, they were handy, alright. I wonder what else are they talking about in Television Magazine. I love looking through these old magazines. I like looking at the fairly old ones from the 50s and the 60s. Looking at these later ones from the 90s and the 90s kind of just depresses me because I can remember so clearly, and now it's all consigned to history. I'm sure many of you can relate to that. So on the same page, on the opposite page, you can buy a new old stock classic Avo meter in case with battery and leads for £50. That wouldn't be a bad old day out. And beside that, they have a Fluke 77, 3.5 digit carrying case and leads for £60. Well, they've held their value. Then they've got some real snazzy stuff here. Philips PM3217 oscilloscope. The really nice Marconi signal generators, the 2019A. Only £1,800. OJNOJ Monday in these slippers and cardigans sitting beside the side by the fireside. Yeah, no, I could go in for a bit of that myself, actually. What else have they got? Like, who was forking out 1800? Who was running a TV shop in '98 that was forking out £1,800 for a Marconi signal generator? I think that's the most expensive thing they have. Tektronix 24568 4 trace 350 megahertz delay oscilloscope, £2,500. You need to be fixing a lot of fucking TVs to be buying that kind of shit. Donald Bullock. Donald was alright, but he was no Les. I wonder is Donald still knocking around actually. I think he had moved to Spain or somewhere to fix TVs. Anyone know? The language of what's the price in that issue for, say, Ferguson 3V heads? Well, I don't know. Let's have a look actually. Let's see if we can find the ads for the grabber selling that. Video heads. Sense components. They'd have it, wouldn't they? They do that kind of gear. I think they did. Tuner's lock, monitor wounding, blah blah blah. Oh, here we are. Ferguson 3V. Video Star R2000. That was a bit of an antique even then. Let's see. Deck and head for an FV31R, £30. Yeah, that seemed to be in and around that mark. Yeah, drum upper, 20 quid. And there's another one there for 10 quid. Another one for 30 quid. Head for the VF. Head only for the VF31R, 12 quid. Remote and power supply for a TX9 or a TX10, 5 quid each. They was fixing TX9s in 98. They must have been fairly old hat by then even. I know, work is good work. Dartel Electronics. Largest selection of major manufacturers' new B-grade products: TV, video, audio, microwave ovens, Contact Fred, BS Mart, Crawley. Where were all these B-grade stuff coming from? You never heard about B-grade stuff anymore either. That's another thing that has died. And this poor gobber selling up. Tube sale. Stock clearance of tubes for current models. £25 for 14-inch, 49 for, and 69 then for the widescreens. Lots more. Ring Irene or Jane. Express TV. It's hard to think that more or less every business in this magazine is defunct. It's not that long ago. Oh, here's someone that was ahead of the curve. Gogglebox. Discount Electric Warehouse, Leeds. B grade at lowest prices ever. 14-inch remote, 65. 14-inch with teletext, £80. 20-inch with Nikon stereo, £100. And a 25-inch for £150. 28-inch Nikon for £180. B grades, finest stuff. South Delta Coastal Aerial Supplies, and they are selling field strength meters. There's another thing that's gone out with the Indians as well, going up poles and fixing aerials and stuff. I was talking to a gentleman there last week who's in the business of radio broadcasting, and he reckons that FM will be in the bin in the next 10 years. Not because there's any particular want for the broadcasters to switch off, but more so that there'll be no one listening and it won't be worth their while anymore. Everyone is streaming YouTube music and Spotify in their cars now. No one bothers their arse listening to the FM radio anymore. I always found the letters very good in this, quite entertaining too. Anyone else giving a thumbs up? Well, I should hope they are. My camera appears to be at a slightly jaunty angle. I think that might be a bit better now. 12 thumbs up with 11 people watching. That's pretty impressive, alright. Alright, here's a letter that came into TV. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Good man, Ray. Welcome back. This probably will be around the time it died off. Customers wouldn't pay for a repair on a decent set, but a 99 quid special from the Superman. That's right. That's exactly what they did. Heard it first hand. Bastards. Beat this. A customer came in and asked whether we could provide a non-working modern TV set free. He wanted to make a false insurance claim because my set is too old. This was openly said in my shop. Words fail me. Rex Webb, KTV Electronics, Cornwall. There you go. Yeah, seen a few of them already. Oh. I mean, people at some neck, you know. Long distance television. There's another thing that's finished as well. For anyone that's just tuned in, this is a nice relaxing evening with OJNOJ reading television magazine. VCR Clinic. Yeah, anyway, it's all consigned to history now, and it's never going to return. Donald Bullock, what a life. Is Donald Bullock still with us? Does anyone know? Now, is George Christophe still in the chat there? George, you wrote a comment on my test video, my test live, where you said that you used some sort of what was it? Some sort of software for the old live streaming, and that Andy just uses a keyboard to click different mouses or different. What was the thing you called the software though? Can't remember. Don't know where that now to look for. We'll have to look it up. I was thinking of getting. Well, the first thing I want to get is I want to get a better microphone anyway. And get the sound a bit better. I think your picture quality is all that important, but if the was it OBS, John Joe? No, I don't do I go on, I'll have a look and see. What was she called? George Christophe commented that it was called Stream Deck. Alright. That he uses it, and that's also the one which Mr. Cruncher uses as well. Yeah, I don't know, Jerry. I don't know if people are going to watch. I don't know if people are going to keep listening to the radio. There's too many easier options out there now. Linear TV is the way. Even all the same, it is. The thing is, there's nothing to watch on the television. Anyway, so George said he uses a thing called Stream Deck, and that's what the Radio Country uses. So, yeah. It's just software. We'll have a look into that, maybe. Once it's not too complicated. I don't do complicated if I can help it. Yes. White Sapphire says she remembers DXTV in the 70s from home in East Yorkshire. I could receive signals from Belmont, Winter Hill, Litchfield, one or two others. Not always reliable, but fun to do, absolutely. Yeah. I have a lighting shadow. Yeah, it's not RTA either, you know. I just put the bench light on there. Don't mind the shadow. You can see me well enough, I think. This is all a bit bright now for me at this time of night, so we're in. That's just the bench light that's on. See, I can sit in the dark here like this. Also, the spooky red light. Ooh. We'll wait till the end of October for that. Actually, will I be here for the Halloween? I don't think I will be. I'll be in the Goblin. I'll tell you what, bills are going up. Don't even tell me. Bill wants to, if Audio Al there wants to, if you want to sponsor my light and heat in the shed, I'll take you up on that, no problem. It's getting ridiculous. Yeah, there was a few of those around, alright. Those dishes that you're talking about, and they work really well. That could be very true, Kev. Yeah, you'd have a CPAT there as well, you know, which always helps. Use a radio clip mic, much better. Yeah, might do. Again, sounds expensive. Thing with this is we want to try and keep the cost as low as possible because it's it doesn't really pay, you know. You're getting your oil lamps ready for winter and a stock of candles. Yeah. One thing I don't have too many of is oil lamps, actually, and I'm sort of drawn towards oil lamps, you know. I'd like to get a real nice one for the sitting room, on the mantelpiece. And we live in a place which is prone to electrical problems at times as well. You're all right, Al. Don't worry about it. Don't be panicking. There's no panic. Yeah, the road wireless mics. I did actually look into this maybe a year or two ago. I was looking at wireless mics and stuff when I first started. Of course, at that stage, I didn't have the old Computertron here in the shed. So that makes life a little bit easier too. But you could get a Rode wireless microphone which would dock into your phone. You know, I think it was the Samsung S20 at the time. And it'd be wireless, you know, but mental money. You know, but I think the sound on the phone is probably better. To be honest, well, this is never going to be good anyway. This is a very cheap web camera. I mean, it's only really designed for Teams meetings and shit like that, where you're not really concerned about neither sound quality or picture quality. It's just to get you out there and get you on. But to be fair, it works well enough. It's not bad for what it is. Although something a little bit more refined would be good. So I think a slightly better camera and an independent microphone. Microphones I have a few tasty enough microphones here. So I have this one here, which wouldn't be cheap. The only thing is I have to sort out phantom power for this if I'm going to use it. It's what you call it, Bayer Dynamic. It's an M201TG. I believe the radio companies are quite fond of them, and I also have another microphone floating around somewhere, which I also need to get going, which I could use. And this is one I even seen Joe Rogan on his podcast using one of these, and this is a Blue. See this? And the only problem with this was when I got it, this was discarded and given to me because it didn't work anymore, and I was told you can have it because it's going in the bin. Top part was loose. I had been twisted around many times till the wires broke. Alright? So we reconnected the wires and life was good. But as I say, you have to sort out phantom power and all that kind of gear. But they'd be two very nice microphones to have floating around. Maybe the Bayer even more so than the Blue. But they're two quality microphones to have. Actually, I also have a heavy stand for this too, with a good heavy cast iron base on it. It's the proper job. That came out with defunct radio station. AR201 TG. Yeah, they are. They're quite nice mics, and of course I picked the two of them up for nothing. So over the years, but as I say, you have to sort out the phantom power and that. But I think if I had them set up here now, we could be onto a winner. Definitely. So maybe. Droppers are always handy to have around. What kind of droppers? What did I say, droppers? I must have said something about droppers, did I? Unless there's a dropper in behind me. Well, there is. There's a dropper there. I think that's off a Pi television. Of course, we could do what that good man up in Scotland does, and does use capacitors instead of droppers. The old wattless dropper trick. Oh, sorry. You see, sorry, Sapphire. You see, what happens is I lose track of the chat, and I actually I never really watched Big Clive before, but there's been so much. Well, I've watched Big Clive videos, but I've never really watched his lives. I've sort of tiddled in and out of them at times, but generally every Saturday night I'd be working in my old place. So I had a look at one of his videos there the other day, and I don't know. Well, he can't keep up, but the amount of people that are in his chat, unbelievable, wonderful stuff. Wonderful. Usually 1,000 viewers at a time, yeah. And one of the things I noticed as well is he hasn't got the super chat set up or anything. So I don't know how he obviously makes all his money on Patreon or one of them things. Yeah, even Dave, Vlog is jealous of the Clive's numbers on the live stream. Oh, fair play to him. In fairness, in fairness to Clive, he's fairly entertaining. I think I was a little bit nasty one. Well, I wasn't being nasty, but I could have come across as nasty. But I said, if I want to watch a middle-aged man getting pissed on a Saturday night, I'll look in the mirror. But to be fair to him, he is very entertaining. He gets embarrassed with the super chats and the such like. Well, that's fair enough. I know other people are into them and all. I have them enabled, but no one uses them, or rarely. But I like to be able to give people the option if they want to help the thing go along a bit, they can. But no, he's very entertaining, Clive. In fairness to him, he's very good. I love the way he takes all this Chinese crap apart, and some of the stuff that he gets is unbelievable. Of course, as Sapphire told me, you got there before me with the little lamp. Although I did get another little lamp. I got a little lamp. If I have it to hand, this bench tomorrow is going to get uprooted because it's gone ridiculous once again. No, don't know where it's gone. Oh, here it is. And you get an idea, right? So, some of you might have seen. He only monetized because YouTube were not hiding his content, showing his content or whatever. I heard that. Well, the way it went with the YouTube was, and I said this to a few people that weren't monetized. This is. All right, bro, madam, you take it easy, pal, and enjoy your few scoops. YouTube a couple of months ago, probably 6 months ago now, came out and said that they were going to run ads on channels, regardless whether they had 1,000 subscribers or not, or whether they were monetized or not. So the way I looked at that then was that, well, if these kids are going to be running ads on my videos anyway, regardless whether I'm monetized or not, you may as well be monetized and get the few quid. Because it's going to bang up the ads on them anyway. Now, it's not always the case that they bang up the ads and everything. I don't know if there's any ads popping up on this tonight. I purposely didn't monetize this live chat tonight. But, you may as well get the couple of quid as well. I said it to Chris all the year, no idea, because he wasn't monetized. And I don't know if he did or not. But I said to him, you may as well be monetized anyway, because you're just going to be... they're going to bang a load of ads on your videos either way, and you may as well be getting a couple of quid. They were hiding the content. Yeah, they were doing that to Fran as well. Yeah, her stuff wasn't coming up at all. Google were taxing him in the US. He was getting taxed twice. Oh. I know there's a thing when you have to set up a thing called an AdSense account with Google. And they ask you specifically, are you inside, are you outside the US tax jurisdiction or not? And you have to fill that out. And if you get that wrong at the start, you can't go back and change it. George Christophe is of the same thinking as myself. I'm just catching up here with their chat as well. I see those videos. The software, yes. Can't be annoyed. If I would imagine that most people here on the UK Vintage Radio Forum, Kev. If I could make a suggestion to the two of you, although it's none of my business because it's between the two of you, White Sapphire and Kev B. If you're on the UK Vintage Radio Forum, maybe one sends the other private message. If one of you mentions a forum user name, then the other one can send a private message and then email and so on. They didn't recognise the Isle of Man as part of the UK. Yeah, but he's still outside US jurisdiction. I mean, I'm not part of the UK, where I am. We don't get taxed on YouTube money, but if I did, we're talking tax on 50 quid. Exactly, yeah. But if you're getting 50 quid a month out of YouTube, Georgie, you're doing a lot better than I am. And it's gone down and down and down. I've noticed ad revenue was going down. Even though the euro to the dollar is getting stronger to the euro all the time, and should be getting more. But even still, anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll hit a big one of these days, and I'll have 1 million subscribers and steaming around in Ferraris and 43000s with V8 engines on them. And I've seen a couple of his videos as well, alright. I have Diode Gone Wild. There's so many of them now, though. It's hard to keep up with them all, you know. I'm going to go and get myself another can of Guinness. I said I could pull the plug at 9 o'clock, and it's 9:10 now. But I think we're having so much fun here. We'll keep it going for another little while. But it's not going to go on as late as it did last night. But give us a couple of minutes. When you hear the cowbells, you know I'm on the way back, all right? Hi guys, we is back. I used to have a limited company based in Sark. Tax rate worth. Oh. He was taxed by HM and US tax. He has an accountant that handles that kind of stuff for him. Yeah, I think, when you get up to... I think when you get up to that sort of thing, you need to have an accountant. Actually, the one thing I heard say was your man PewDiePie, who was the biggest YouTuber at one stage. I think he's been overtaken now, but he's got like 130 million subscribers or something. He's made millions and millions off YouTube over the years. But he was being interviewed by some crowd. I can't remember. It's a good few years ago since I watched it. But your man asked him, if you had one piece of advice for someone starting out in YouTube that's getting big, what would it be? And he says, get an accountant and get one early. Apparently he had all sorts of shit, because all this money was coming in. And he was 17 or 18 or whatever. Needless to say, he ended up with a bit of a tax bill or whatever. But that's so I don't think I'm going to get to that stage just yet. You never know, could explode. It could all blow up in more ways than one. So who have we got here in the chat now? Jenny's here, George is here, Kev B is here. Who else have we got? 13 people watching, but there has to be more people than that then that can be in the chat. Someone, unless someone has just subscribed and they can't because it's set to more than 5 days. Taffer is still here. Leaky caps, Johnjo. Leaky caps, Ray. Leaky caps are the problem. Yeah, they are the problem here for sure. They're probably... Leaky caps are great though, because if it wasn't for leaky caps, we wouldn't have made all that money. Hold on. That's me €8 socket sell out of Lidl. You can't... I don't know how they do it. £8. They're a wonderful crowd. So... There's a young fella that does solar stuff. He was living in a camper, but now he has a huge house, flash car, etc. Thanks to YouTube. Yeah, it can happen. I often thought I need to find a niche myself, and this probably isn't it. If I was into making money on YouTube, I think vintage vehicles and stuff could be the way to go, but that brings problems of its own. Yeah, the little voices to be good, are they? I know someone who has one of their little voices and they swear by them. I don't know if anyone ever seen this or not, but there was a German fella. I think he called himself something like Creo Sam. And he made a little, I'm going to call it a caravan, to pull behind his bicycle. It was fascinating to watch him. He was very good. He's still making German videos. But he stopped making English language videos. I think people were slagging off his English accent or his German or his pronunciation or something. He got fed up and he stopped. But I'd say he's made a few bob on YouTube. He was getting serious views and stuff. Make stuff the kids enjoy. I don't know. I'll tell you, I've got a sneaking suspicion about one fella who's on YouTube, but he's very secretive, and he's that Canadian fella. Aif. Has anyone ever watched him or heard of him? I think he's sort of a pal of Big Clive's, if I'm not mistaken. Aif, AVA. Now the only thing is, he's very knowledgeable for machinery and tool making and all sorts of shit like that. But he goes on with all that nonsense talk, and it gets a bit much at times. He knows his stuff, he's hilarious, but you know, after the first few hours of fabric coupled to me, luber doofer, or whatever, I can't talk like that. I've beyond linguistical problems now without starting all that shit. All American 5 on YouTube is great. Yeah, I've seen him alright. He's pretty good. Of course, the Shango fella's fairly good too. He keeps finding these brand new old stock TV sets from the 70s and 60s, which DJ Nilo SF wants to know, where's your favourite place to source electronic components in Ireland? RS, Farnell, others, etc. Thanks. None of them. It all comes from AliExpress, or the most. But although, if I was to deal with anyone, I'd be dealing with RS. For no other reason that's who I've always dealt with. I've never gotten that off Farnell. Although RS are pricey, yeah, and that's fair enough. But no, it's generally been the old AliExpress for me, because I'm not doing anything in a hurry here. It's only for myself most of the time. If I was doing something for someone, time is an issue, then I'd just pick up the phone to RS. And you just pass on the price of doing that. Musty One is pretty good, as is James Condon. Well, Musty One I can relate to. I have a bit of experience with starting up shit that hasn't been run in years and years and years. It's something I do regularly, and I'm known for doing it for other people. Now, I'm talking about like trucks and buses and shit like that. Things that have been lying up for years and years. I'm very good at getting shit going. And that's one thing I would like to be able to video and record, but people don't want their shit out there on YouTube as well, which is understandable. Bring back Pete's. Yeah, audio, I'll bring back Pete's. But don't bring back their prices. But no, Pete's are fairly good, alright. I remember going into Pete's in Parnell Street all them years ago. But then they became Sony agents and tried to turn into another DID Electrical, and they opened up that place then on Dame Street, and they lost the run themselves, and then it all went bang and tits up. Yeah, he lost his way once he got big. Well, just thinking about that, I was only looking at it earlier on and thinking about it. I have a lovely Seagull outboard engine that someone gave me a while ago that hasn't been run in years and years and years. And I was thinking I would make a couple of videos about trying to get it going. Chris Delancey used to watch it, but the content quality went downhill. Yeah, I haven't watched them in a long time now, to be honest. I've clicked into one or two of his videos recently, but to be honest, they didn't make me stay around. When he starts doing that, I'm your uncle and hand on your shoulder shit, I'll just switch off, Photonic is just crazy wild electrical stuff. Yeah, he is. He's gone quiet again, though, unfortunately. He was pretty good. MC Keevers, I haven't heard of him. Ray, that's one to look up. Post-apocalyptic inventor, German bloke that gets stuff from scrapyards. I often wonder about the stuff that he gets from scrapyards, though. I have a question mark about the scrapyard that he goes to. I want to know where that scrapyard is. Norfolk Man Cave is worth a look at too. Haven't heard of him. That's not Man Cave Workshop now. That's obviously a different thing. In Norfolk Man Cave. Okay. And McKeever's. MC McKeever's is not a YouTube channel. That's obviously a company. Sorry, Ray. Never heard of him. Okay. Sorry. McKeever's. Right. Okay, I read that wrong. Okay. McKeever's are long gone. No, they're long gone. One of the lads that worked in it bought it out and ran it into the ground in a year. Yeah, that's the sort of shit that happens, alright, isn't it? Gobbers get their hands on it. It's like there's a thing here in Ireland, about the grandfather set up the business and he digs it up out of the ground, and then the son takes it on because he was real keen. He remembers the hard times. And then the grandson gets a hold of it, and then it's fucked within a year. I've seen that happening so many times. There was a hardware shop local to me, and the father, the old boy, he built it up out of nothing. It was basically just a bit of a yard he had, and he eventually saved up enough money to build a shop, and he'd a bit of a shop. It was a kip, but he knew how to deal with people and the public and all. He was very good. And then the son got a hold of it after the old boy died, and he ran it into the fucking ground. He went and built a big, huge new shop, took out a big whopper loan off the bank for 700,000 or 800,000, and then was an ignorant prick to everyone that came into the place. So people stopped going into him, and then within a year it was gone. Unbelievable, isn't it? Good evening, Joe. Yeah, well, Dave Jones's dumpster room is another questionable thing as well. I mean, I need to find somewhere like that. I don't know. Good evening, Joe. George stopped watching 12-volt vids once he became a Banggood shill. All right. I've never watched him, actually. Do you know that? I've seen his stuff, but he had someone's hi-fi on the bench in one of his videos, right? And he gets the hi-fi, and he's scraping it around the bench and all. And you're thinking, you're paying this kid to repair this. Like, I've a few carpet tiles here, and if I'm doing something for someone else, I'm not too arsed with my own shit, but if I'm doing something for someone else, I'll try to be a little bit careful about it, and that, and I put it down the carpet tile and I'll save all the food. Your man was fucking throwing this thing around. No, that's a bit much. That's not the way I was brought up in the old TV shop. You couldn't be scraping their TVs or that. You'd be in trouble. So 12-volt vids is now acting as a full-time advertisement for Banggood shit. I don't know. I'd take that money, George. Would you take that money, George? Maybe. I don't think I'd go on like that, though. I think I'd still give an honest review or whatever shit they were sending me. Clifford would roast you if he knew you wanted the part. Sounds good, alright. There's also a pile of stuff. Quite good. Very gentle, but good. It's a new one on me as well. He's dog rough. Oh, really, yeah. Little Diode likes to charge a decent amount of. Little Diode, yeah, they're pricey. But if you need it, you get it, yeah. Well, that's it. But I think, like a lot of things in the world, there's a serious lack of discrete components as well, quality ones. At the minute, Transauto Radio was the same. Saw him charge a guy 40 quid for a nice C that was only 6. That sort of stuff will happen, alright. Does anyone watch or has ever seen the Canadian fella that repairs the radio? That looks at radios? Let's see if there's anyone know what I'm talking about without saying any more. I'm not talking about Jerry O'Hara, by the way. He's quite good. Not Carlson. George has it, yes. Jim Lindeness. The one in the dress. No, I think he's a Yank. Or she's a Yank. Sleepy Jim. He gets an awful lot of stick in his comments. He says that he never reads his comments, but I mean, I wouldn't put up with that kind of crap in the comments either. You get some amount of stick. Jesus. Now, fair enough. But there's lads there that just love sticking it into him and giving him a hard time, you know, and I don't agree with that either. I always sort of thought, if you've nothing nice to say about a fella or his work, don't say anything at all. You know, there's no need to be giving him a hard time. I know some of the stuff he does is questionable, alright, definitely. It's the way he talks now. Hello and welcome back to the shop here on 19th of September. It's cold outside, but not too cold. Going to have a look at this radio again today, and these 3 capacitors here, which we're going to take out and measure, just to see if they're working or not. So I'll just turn on the old soldering iron now, and we'll get on into it. And then the cat comes in and starts talking. I don't know if anyone's saying this, but one of the videos, the cat actually talks. And the cat says something like, "Meow, Jim, leave it alone, Jim, meow." Something like that. You get some nice stuff to watch. You get some nice gear into his bench, alright. He's obviously making a few bob at it anyway, or whatever. Glasslinger is very good. Yeah, agreed. I mean, you've got glass lathes there and making valves from scratch and all that kind of shit. You can't argue with that kind of stuff. Alright, you just can't. Retired electrical engineer, but my God, I know a few electrical engineers that don't know that. That doesn't mean that. He knows his stuff. Mr. Carlson. Who likes Mr. Carlson here? I watch some of his videos, and some of his videos are very interesting. Has anyone ever drank the Kool-Aid and paid for these online learn electronics in a new way course thing? George Christophe used to watch Jim's videos to fall asleep. His voice is so calming. His comments get abused because people give him info and he just ignores it. Yeah. And he needs to start looking at the comments and taking it. I mean, if people are giving me stick in the comments, I mean, they'll just be deleting all that. be banning them. I wouldn't be putting up with that shit. Like that's trolling stuff. It's not, you know. And there's a few of them there that watch his videos. One of them popped up on my channel actually, but wasn't. I wouldn't put up with that shit. No way. You know, and they hate him so much, but yet they sit there and watch an hour and a half of Jim checking a capacitor. I'm like, fucking planet are these lads on? George, let's hold on. Let's see where I am here. Buzz TH Carlton is good, but puts me asleep. Yeah. Buzz that paints TF's red. Is Randy from on YouTube? Don't know who that is. Carlton is interesting but boring. Okay in small doses. Small doses, yeah, maybe. I watch him, but sometimes I find him too patronising. I am a Patreon and have access to the course, but I pay for access to his other stuff, the test care and builds and stuff. Is it what sort of way is it laid out? I'd say, in fairness, it's probably well laid out. No one here. Chris Carson is too concerned with selling project plans. Yeah. Daddy Bar Farney is worth a watch. Yeah, the Mr. Carson thing with the selling the stuff. He's obviously making a few bob out of all this. He's probably doing all right for himself. Well, I mean, he bought himself a cherry picker truck, so they don't fall out of the sky. The night broadcaster, I seen a bit of that actually. That was quite interesting, alright. Any other YouTubers? Now I'm trying to think of a few of them, and if you never think of the ones when I see them. There's a fella. There's an American man that does radio restoration. I can't think of his name now. He hasn't got that many subscribers. He might have 8,000 or 9,000 subscribers, something like that. But he does this thing with puppets. He's got this puppet. He puts on this weird voice with the puppet, and it frightens the shit out of me. I can't handle it at all, to be quite honest with you. You haven't looked into his course. You think it's too late for me? Yeah. 100,000 Patreons, and if they are all at base level, that's 200 grand a month. Fuck me. Is that Buzz? What? Yeah, I thought it was alright. I wasn't sure. Buzz is 1151. That's your man with the weird puppet. No. Fuck off. No. Nothing against the fella or whatever, but that puppet just puts the shit up me. Yeah, no. Alright, I'll ask you an honest question. Would you like me to start doing puppetry work here at OJNOJ Irish Vintage TV and Radio? I don't think you would, now, to be honest. No, there's just something about it. No. There's so I don't know what it is about that, but that puppet just frightens the shit out of me. Oh, so Krista Lanty mentioned that. The thing with his 369 aerial that someone said, who I know has a lot of experience with RF, is he just connected the three aerials to the centre of the coax and ran it down without a ballon or anything. So it's not worth the bollocks. And that's my professional, well, that's the gentleman's professional opinion, but I'm inclined to agree. He used steel welding wire. Yeah. He said you didn't understand. Well, what did he say you didn't understand about it, Chris? Now, we're not going to get into our personal stuff here, obviously, but just wondering. It's a bit weird. Techbone, Kev. Now, there is a very good YouTuber. Puts up a video, once a month or so. Always some odd body weird fucking thing that you'll never have heard before. Puts a lot of effort into it now, to be fair to him. And Jerry, OJNOJ will not be getting Rog and Podge to help him. We might give the channel over to Rog and Podge. Yeah, George is on the same. He takes forever in the videos, but the restoration work is top notch. He is also not a fan of the puppet. No, the fucking puppet needs to go. Dustin the Turkey. Is Dustin the Turkey still around? I thought they roasted him when he lost the Eurovision that time. Vintage Electronics Repair. Yeah, that's Andy. Yeah, we're going to see Andy at the Goblin. No, Conway. Leave his cousins out of it. What? Oh, I see now. Rog and Podge are my cousins. Oh, very good. Technology connections. I've seen him too. Also interesting. Yes, indeed. Radio TV, no. Yeah. Seeing who too, William. I think he's tied in with some way with Shango 66 as well. Any word on Ballycoolan? Is that the amateur radio show that does be on? If so, I haven't heard anything yet. Nothing in the IRTS news, but it'd be too early yet anyway. You won't hear that until I think it's generally in March. Or no, sorry, can you lie? I think it's the start of February. The Ballycoolan does be on. Ballycoolan is an amateur radio show in Blanchardstown here in Dublin, or in Ireland, and it's sort of the closest thing you get to an amateur radio or vintage radio show as well in Ireland. You know, it's in a classroom in a school. David Tipton is the best at restorations. Very fussy. Yeah, I don't know about Dave Tipton. I haven't watched any of his stuff really, to be quite honest with you. George Christophe is not a fan of any of the cap chain shotgun people. Yeah, I'm sort of in that sort of possibly bracket as well. Dave Tipton was the next aircraft maintenance. Only thing is, I'm not going to have to fly my Bush TR-82C at 35,000 feet. So I'm not too concerned. I must have a look at some of his stuff though. I think there can be a little bit of snobbery in this hobby as well, you know. And it gets a little bit out of hand at times. I mean, at the end of the day, it is only an old radio. Fair enough if it's a paid job that you're doing for someone. That's a different matter. But if it's just for yourself, you know, there's more than one way to skin a goat. George Christophe is not a fan of the Bush TR series. And that's disappointing, George. I wouldn't be flying them out the window. General Presto, look at Keller. He does amazing work, not just electronics. Ooh, that sounds like an interesting channel as well. Restoring vintage military vehicles. Yeah. I know he's tied up with the Radio Cruncher these days. I think he's been sending them stuff down, and there's been a bit of reciprocal nonsense going on there. Strips everything down to the last nut and bolt. Ugh. I don't have that kind of staying power. Who else? Anyone else you can think of? What are the old heads going blank now? The old YouTubers? Ooh. Don't like the sound of that. William Fenton says there is an English bloke that does stuff on Sundays. Not that keen on his stuff. I know what you mean. It's too much faffing and not enough logical fault finding. There was a great guy in Dublin, did vintage repairs and guitar amps, sadly now dead, Mark Levens. His company was Aladdin Amps. He's another one. Gone. And sadly, every year there's less and less in this thing, you know. That's the way it's heading. It's unbelievable. There'll be no one left in another couple of years. Does anyone watch the radio workshop? Old Ray down there in the south of England. I'm just looking through a few of these people that pop up on my YouTube, you know. There's some interesting ones, for sure. George Christophe, Ray annoys you too. Come on, fill us in. Why does he annoy you? Ray is great, retired. I see there'll be a row here in the chat. Uncle Doug is a great old guy. Valve Electronics, yeah. I've seen Uncle Doug actually, yeah. I've seen him alright. Small engine mechanic, I've seen him. Lots of talk, no actual fixing info, and only works on push stuff or internet or radio stuff. Yeah, employed to agree. He also does an awful lot of, or he had been doing a lot of reviews on stuff, which is something you mentioned earlier on about another YouTuber. That's right. I actually, when you Google, as you know, George, I have an Eddystone 910 here, which is a fairly rare machine. There was only 800 of them made, and they were a special order to the HM Coast Guard. from Marconi, or to Marconi, or through Marconi from Eddystone. They were branded the Marconi HR 101. The only other person on YouTube that has one of these radios is Ray. And he has two videos, a part one and a part two. They're both about half an hour long. And in neither of the videos, do you actually see the radio switched on. Right? But if you Google HR 101 Eddystone 910, his videos are the first two you'll see, and then mine are way down the distance, which is a little bit disconcerting because you get to see my Eddystone 910 working lots and lots, except for at the moment because it's acting the bollocks. I haven't gotten into it yet. I have to build up the strength to lift it onto the bench. Who else is there? The chap from Manchester that does the radio videos on Pirate Radio. What do you call him? I don't know, I can't find him now. I'll look up to the comments. Ringway Manchester. Yeah, anyone watch his stuff? Another plank who talks crap. Wonderful. Wonderful stuff. I tell you, for the plank, he's doing alright though, wouldn't he, George? He is, he's doing alright for a plank. He does sort of make a 3-minute video into a 10-minute video. I'd agree with that. Lovely, lovely drone shots of antenna masts. What about his pal? There's another fella he's knocking around with that's after exploding onto the YouTube scene in the recent past. Andy Kirby. Anyone has watched him? That's another YouTuber. Yeah, Jerry, I did actually like that. His series on I watched that as well. Actually, his series on the Pirate Radio lads versus the Post Office guys. That was sort of interesting. Now, to be fair. Anyone watch VK3YE? Can't watch his sensationalist rubbish. He actually knows nothing and makes out he is a radio expert. Good man, B4L. Not paid for the electricity for the evening. Well, paid for 50%, but it's 30 cents a unit now. Oh yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Yeah, no, he wasn't there. He's obviously getting this stuff off someone though. I don't know where he's hearing it all. Let's say anyone watch the Andy Kirby fella? He does e-bikes and stuff and whatnot. Oh no, you wouldn't admit that in George. No more than I would myself. Fucking something up around Charlie Echo. Scam music on shortwave. Are you for real? Stop your messing around. Oh yeah. Fuck it, lads. It's 5 to 10. I think we could drag it on for another 20 minutes. 23 people in the chat. I'm going to get the last one out of the fridge, have it with us, and then I'll be pulling the plug for sure. Because this is ridiculous, but it's quite interesting. Right, while I'm gone, think of other YouTuber people. And when we come back, we'll discuss further in depth. By the way, George, I'm looking forward to meeting you at the Goblin. It's going to be interesting, for sure. Right, I'll be back in a minute. When you hear the cowbells, I have returned. I have returned. Now, just give us a chance here to catch up with the old chat. A few more people in there as well. How are we all doing, everyone? I hope you're keeping well out there. I'm eating a ready-to-eat cooked pork Polish sausage, which is rather tasty. CB radio video could be done in the near future. Bad Obsession Motorsport. Underscore here is stalking someone. Hope you're doing well this evening. Ringway's Pirate series must have been his best work because only the other stuff I remember is his constant shilling of Chinese radios. He's keen on them, alright. Yeah, DTI man would visit. Oh, I like the way that loop worked, alright. Good man, B for that. An unusual emoji for a super sticker. Thank you very much. This video isn't monetized, so there's no money to be made on it. Now, White Sapphire mentioned something. I had thought about making a fake restoration video for a bit of crack. So what I was going to do was only a black and white TV. You know, one of the cheap Korean import 1980s jobbers. Do the second half of the video first, obviously, and then fuck it into a bog somewhere. And then come driving along on the top of me Ford 2000. Oh, look, our television and all that shit. Go down and dig it out, and then, you know, and then in reverse. I think it would have been quite funny. Oh, Jenny BVR mentions, yeah, I have a good one for you actually, Jar. It's a fella working. Let's see if I can find this fella now on me subscriptions. Oak Swamp. He's currently doing up an Austin 10 into like a rat rod thing. Very knowledgeable fella. Very interesting videos. Well worth a watch. Do I sell any of my old radios? Occasionally. When I start falling over them, we have to get rid of one or two of them. Either give them away or sell them. Depending. Oh, maybe I'll arrange for some poor Reynolds portable television to end up in a ditch somewhere for a few weeks. I just found a sweet television when I was out for a spin in my tractor. Let's bring her back and give her the belt of the old wire wheel and see what happens. Some of them all are desperate, but they get 3-4 million views. Here's the thing that gets my go, lads, boys and girls, is we all have the YouTube videos or YouTube subscription. We all have our own YouTube subscriptions, right? And we're all of a similar mindset. But if you go outside the bubble of interest that we have on YouTube and look at some of the stuff that's getting views, like we're looking at people like Shango66, which I think he has nearly 70,000 subscribers or something like that. We're looking at Dave Tipton, who I think has 15,000 subscribers. We're looking at Radio Cruncher, who was 5,000 subscribers or something like that. You know, and so on and so forth, with all these different YouTubers, right? But if you go outside our little niche and you look at these arseholes that have, you know, 1 million subscribers, or 2 million, or 10 million subscribers, and they're doing shit, you know? Someone needs to tell me how I can get in on that act. CollectorNet has a fantastic voice. Should be on radio. I don't think I have a voice for radio. Maybe with filter myself now. I always thought about going on the radio. You know, when I was a little kid, I had a few aspirations. So one of them was being a radio DJ, but it didn't last long. But I could see myself doing that. You know, if I turn off the camera and you just listen to me voice, you know, hello there, and welcome to the OJNOJ Monday with me, John Joe, in the OJNOJ Shack. Now we're going to play some music from Leonard Skinner. You know, I don't know. I don't think I have quite the knack for it. Yeah, but the whole YouTube thing, it's mental. It's mental what the money they're making now. Although smaller YouTubers are making big enough money as well. There's one chap there actually that does a Route Master for hire for anyone that has any interest in vintage buses. He is about 20,000 subscribers now or something like that. But he says that he's getting between 10 and 15 grand a month off YouTube. Now, obviously, the subject also plays a part in how much money you earn. I mean, videos like mine aren't going to be very sexy for someone who wants to run advertisements. I mean, you know, someone who wants to sell, you know, always aren't going to advertise lady sanitary products on my videos. You know. And Gillette aren't going to be too interested in me either. But then again, the way Gillette went on recently, I wouldn't be too interested in them. Let's have a look at Route Master for hire, actually. He's 24,000 subscribers, and he says that he's getting between 10 and 15 grand a month off YouTube. That's not bad going. Plastic people living plastic lives. That's pretty much it, Jerry. Just look at BBC3 for what I mean by plastic. I know exactly. Yeah. Here's a tip. Here's a tip. Older Potterton backseat boiler intermittent. The fault will probably be the PCB relay that feeds two nice bigger Panasonic ones. Took me 3 months. Well, good man, William. We'll keep that on board. Yeah. No, the YouTube thing is fucking nuts. It's a mad thing. Jerry was here. I should say that Joe, Mr. King there, missed last night's live stream where we were demonstrating all sorts of ex-Soviet transistor radios. One of which we still have on the bench. They work quite well. I must say, I like me old Hitachi suitcase radio. I was listening to this earlier on for a while. It does work quite well, to be fair. Northern Rambler has entered the chat. Someone said to me last night that the get done on copyright for some of that shit that was on shortwave, and you know what? I did. Unbelievable. You know, I sprayed the volume pot on this earlier on today again, just to see with the content with the Amberson, and it worked alright for a few minutes, and it's gone back the same way again. Unbelievable. For those of you that can't see, I suppose I should include everyone. I was surprised at how well this puts up with all the switch mode nonsense.
The Queen enjoyed many.
I'd have to change that pot.
So you can't be just saying we see lots of science.
Yes, I completely agree.
And dignified presence has given us confidence to face the heat that she did with courage.
It's hardly live, is it? They're going at it again. No, we know there's no DC on the pot. Because we changed all the caps in it and that. But there might have been for many, many years before I got it. But it's gas, it'll work alright. You give it a spray and it'll work alright for an hour or two. Once the spray dries out, it's fucked again. I suppose as a last ditch, I could try a bit of WD-40 on it, but I hate using that shit on it like that. But if the pot's going in the bin, it's worth a shot then for sure. Yeah, it's amazing the way they fit cheap shit to these things, you know. I'd well believe it, Jerry. Yeah, there's all sorts of bad stuff going on. But you see, there's these companies now that are going around buying up any music at all. Doesn't matter what the fuck it was. Something that no one ever listened to. Just because they know in case it comes up on YouTube, they'll get a couple of quid out of it. It's unbelievable. It is a bit overzealous, alright. No, it's unbelievable. I need deoxy. It's only 20 quid a scoot. A new pot is £1.50. Yeah, right. I'll get myself some deoxy off the BVWS when I join them. Fran Blanchard's rant about the copyright. Yeah, I don't watch that bit. There are people registering copyright on individuals, all sorts of stuff, just to scam their revenue. Yeah, I know, it's getting out of hand. But then again, as a long-term down the road thing, how long do you think YouTube was going to last? You know, will we be sitting here in another 10 years on YouTube still making videos? How long's YouTube going now? In its current iteration kind of thing, you know, as a thing where probably 10 years is a serious thing. Fran, yeah. I think she has turned a lot of people off too with some of the nonsense. When she started eBaying for her new house the first time. Yeah, because I think she's done a bit of that. Now, it's funny you should mention that, George, because this is a time where I just want to get serious for a minute with the YouTube channel and that. It's great to have a laugh and all, you know. But it's quite cold in my workshop, George, and you know, I need a bit of a dig out, George. And I know you don't do e-beggars, George, but you know, being coming up to Christmas and all, and little dog is after being diagnosed with diabetes, and the tortoise isn't eating his food before he goes in to hibernation for the winter, which is a serious concern, George. And any kind of help at all, it just be wonderful, George. You know, if you can see it in your heart. Big Clive doesn't heat his house. Oh, well. What does he do? Just put on a load of coats. I was brought up in a very, very, very cold house. You know, I had a 1950s upbringing, or 1930s upbringing, probably a fucking 1890s upbringing in the early 90s. Yeah, set fire to him. He's warm for life. And tell me, how many times has Fran moved gaff since then? Because I knew there was something about she was getting thrown out of her lab, and then she was getting thrown out with a new lab, and so on and forth. Good night, Chris. Have a safe night and walk. Times were hard. Well, let me see. My bedroom was a little extension thing. Now, there's the weird thing, George. That didn't. Your comment there, which is quite funny, by the way, has been fucking caught in the chat. Why? George, you have Patreon. Tell me how that works, George. How much money do you make a month off Patreon, George? Come on, fill me in, George. Oh, you know, like the dog, the injections, George. Think about the dog. I grew up with ice inside the windows too, so a 3-room cottage. My room was an extension onto that, which was built out of 3-inch blocks, right? So the walls were that thick, and they were plastered on the inside and the outside with cement, right? There was no drywall or plasterboard or anything to try and soften the blow. The walls were fucking ice cold in the winter. It was torture, and the roof was 2x4s, and the inside then were a bit of hardboard nailed on. The top was a bit of plywood with felt over it. No insulation of any description at all. When it was, you know, -1 outside, it might have been 1 degrees in this room, right? So I used to throw, you know, all the coats and shit off the back of the door on top of the bed. Oh, like when I think about it, like it's no one would live like that now. That's why myself and Mrs. Alshon do have disagreements over the heating in the house, because I'd be boiling and she'd just be freezing. I'd be just brought up in a cold house, you know. You know, like, no money for Patreon. I signed up for the account so that if I got big, I could sell subscriptions. As of now, I have never set up any of the levels or subs. I keep it to reserve the name. Ah, very good. Tell me this, George. Is it difficult to set up? Someone here the other night was telling me I should set up a Discord before someone else sets it up in my name. Now, I had a quick glance at the Discord thing, and to be honest with you, it looks like a load of bollocks. So they can fire away. My only problem with the Patreon thing is, I take it you have to do stuff for people that are looking at you on Patreon, which means an even more increased workload. Which I think I'd have enough on my hands with this if it got big. There are 2 big Clive Discords, alright. And what's the crack with that then? Because I haven't a bog. Discord to me now, I may as well be looking into a bucket of shite. So you educate me here, lads. Yeah, it was all fine and well having fireplaces in all the rooms, but if you had the money to buy the coal and burn them, we had fireplaces in all the rooms, but only ever had one in the living room. Yeah, unless you're really ill, then you'd have a fire in your bedroom. Yeah, that's right. The new terms, though, are not as good as the old terms. I signed up in my name for Twitch, Instagram TV, Vivo, and any others just for the name rights. Alright, George, fair enough. What the fuck is Vivo? I say that after people like Jimi Hendrix Vivo. We don't know what that means. And other people Vivo on YouTube is I don't know what that is. USB heated waistcoat. Look into that. I think I seen something on YouTube about them, alright. Vivo is another video platform. Alright, okay. You should look into that. Sort of like a live chat here, but available 24/7. Interesting. Instagram. I don't know what the difference between Instagram and Instagram TV is. I thought it was all in one. I do have Instagram, but I don't use it. Rarely. I did, sort of say 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I started using Instagram. And the only reason I set up an Instagram thing was I thought that I might get a bit of crossover from Instagram to the YouTube, but that wasn't the case. Wasn't the case at all, you know. I don't even have one subscriber from Instagram. Although I started to get a bit of a following on Instagram, and I did look at it the other day there for the first time after about 6 months or a year even. And I have 530 or something followers on Instagram. So it was alright for what it is, you know, but Discord is just old forums, but in a chat style, alright, yeah. So it's not worth bothering with, is it, George? It might blow up. Yeah, no, that's... I don't want the extra workload. Another option is Odyssey. It's a free video server that's not as restrictive as YouTube. It automatically copies anything you put on YouTube, so no need to work from you. Handy as backup if YouTube drops you. Yeah, I sort of looked into that a little bit. I actually, and to be honest with you, I found it a little bit complicated. And I don't know if I'm actually on Odyssey or not as of this minute, but I sort of started the process, but I don't know if the videos are being recycled over there or not. And at this stage of the game, I don't know. It's something we might look into down the road. Yeah, White Sapphire. I looked at Discord there the other night because a few people said they'd seen me on Discord, or someone mentioned me on Discord, or something or other about Discord. So I googled what a Discord was, and I looked at it. I downloaded the app on my phone, and I had a little scroll around, but you can't get into it, and you have to be invited into these chats and all. And I thought, fuck, I can't be arsed with this. And that was the end of that. Dave from the EV blog was on Discord at some stage as well. Yeah, but like, alright, we'll say, just for example now, someone goes onto the Discord and snaps up my channel name, OJNOJ Irish Vintage TV and Radio on Discord. And sure, what are they going to do? It's not me. They can pretend to be me if they want and talk shit or whatever, but at the end of the day, like, I don't know what impact it's going to have on me personally on this end of the game, you know? People won't be long about figuring out that it's not me or whatever. Yeah. Extra stuff. You see, I don't want the extra. I think Shango66 is a prime example of this. He doesn't post shit anywhere else. And he doesn't, he just does what he's doing on. They have the copyright to your name. Yeah, but only on that platform, surely. Because I have the copyright to my name here on this. I don't know. Yeah, but George, if people are stupid enough to fall from that, I mean, like, my main platform is YouTube. So if I'm not begging for money on my main YouTube platform, I mean, why am I going to be on this obscure thing looking for money? YouTube will pull the plug on loads of people for no good reason. That's true. It happened to the DX Commander last year. After you're up to like 40 or 50,000 subscribers. Yeah. They could sue me for breach of copyright if they register my name. Yeah, I remember JP Jordan got blocked already. It was last year. Worked out in his favour in the end. All the noise that it made brought a lot of people, gave him a lot of attention they wouldn't have had otherwise. So it wasn't such a bad thing in the long run. To be fair as well, though, I mean, any of these other platforms could also yank the plug on you for no good reason. Now tell me, George, do you have your name copyrighted? Oh, Fran Lamb's been mentioned a few times alright, Joe. Yeah, so obviously there's more George Christophis, yeah. I don't know what happened. He lost his original account though. That didn't come back. He set up a new channel. Whatever the crack was with it. I imagine they do now, yeah, so exactly, we don't copyright the name John Smith, yeah. I think Jordan Smith is already copyrighted, isn't that not a brand of ale or something? I must say, I'm enjoying tonight's live stream. It's very relaxed. Everyone is very user friendly in the chat, and thank you all again for coming in. Anyone that has just joined, give us an old thumbs up. That'd be just super. I keep saying that to you lads, and every time I do say it, it goes up 2 or 3 more. So Do give us a thumbs up if you can. It doesn't cost you anything. Joe King, yeah. I remember I said to the wife there a while ago, Matter, there's a chap there that watches me on YouTube. He's called Joe King. She looked at me like, are you being serious? But I know another gentleman, and his second name is Good Enough. This is an unusual name. David Legender. Hi, what did you really think of the Autovox? I take it you're talking about the Autovox television that I have here. I never actually got back to that, believe it or not. It's still sitting inside here. I thought it was a wonderful television, to be quite honest with you. I thought it was very well laid out. Has a good power supply system, overload protection and all that. And there's an excellent picture on it. The only problem I have is I have the wrong tripler fitted to it. The only problem I'm having really is just getting the focus quite right. The focus voltage is wrong. And that was the last one. I put it away. But it's a wonderful television. It's got an excellent tube in it. And I know it's going to work really well when I do eventually get around to getting it going again. Sort of reminded me of the Torn 3500 in the sense that the construction layout with the pluggable boards and all. A lot of thought. No, William, you're wrong. Michael Dranfield was mentioned in great detail. We even read one of his articles in television. So, I'm afraid I have to trip you up on that one. No, Michael Dranfield was mentioned in great detail. He wrote a very in-depth test report in March '98 on the Peak DCA 50 component analyzer and tester. So, gotcha. If you have just joined the chat, do give me a thumbs up. It's appreciated. Well, hold on. I'm after getting mixed up here now. Because David Legender said, "Hi, what do you really think of the Autovox?" I have an Autovox television here, which I thought he was replying to, but Jerry replies to him, "That's the battery guy." So now I don't know what you're talking about. So you better fill me in there. I am in a bog. I thought you were talking about a brand of television receiver from the early 1970s. not looking good. Italian television. Oh, Vox, were they German? Good enough. Invented the lithium battery. You didn't dare it. Yeah. Sound Vox doesn't mean nothing to me either, I'm afraid. The electric larynx. Oh, the Doofer. Oh, yeah. It's a pretty clever invention, that. Always reminds me of South Park, though. Alright, lads. This has gone on far long enough. I'm going into my little house now, so I'm going to say goodnight. We're winding down. We're going to go in. Well, Bonovox, yes, because Bono got his name from the Bonovox hearing aid shop in Talbot Street. Anyway, lads, we'll wrap it up. We'll say goodnight. Singer he's not. Yeah, most likely not. Most likely not. Alright, lads. We'll catch you again on another one. Somewhere down the line. Good luck.